Slattery from the Travel Expert.ie. I was a travel agent for 24 years before deciding to start my own travel blog just over 2 years ago now. I could see more and more people were booking holidays online, and I spotted a gap in the market for an independent travel expert offering advice and travel deals to Irish consumers. I offer advice on destinations, reviews, some travel tips and some travel deals. I found as a travel agent one of the things I probably did best was hunting and searching the internet looking for the best travel deals for my customers. So I decided to use that expertise and do a weekly travel deals post, which has proven really successful. A lot of people have signed up for my newsletter and they receive that on email each week. I combine sources direct from airlines and hotels. I use travel agents and I use tour operators, basically wherever I think has the best value, and I incorporate that every week into a travel deals post. I'm actually just back from Iceland with family holiday for 4 nights, and it was really good. We really enjoyed it. There was lots of snow, probably the craziest weather I've ever experienced. I think we were told it was the strongest snowstorm since 1932, so a lot of the tours were cancelled unfortunately, but we did get to see the Northern Lights, which were amazing, and we swam in the Blue Lagoon. There was snowstorms the whole way to it, but when we arrived the sun shone, so that was pretty spectacular as well. Kids had a ball, they just loved playing in the snow, and yeah, I would highly recommend it. Definitely a place I want to go back to. One thing I would say is that if you're travelling in the winter time, as I said, the weather can be absolutely crazy. Out of the 4 nights, the Northern Lights tours were cancelled for 3 of them. So make sure A, you book your tour at the beginning of your trip so that you can reschedule for another night. And B, I'd say book with a travel agent or book in advance, because you will probably have to reschedule things. And if you haven't, but it's great to have somebody at the end of the phone that you can pick up and call if you need to. My next 2 trips are in Ireland actually. Next weekend I'm going to the Causeway Coast and seeing the Giant's Causeway for the first time. Really looking forward to that and walking across that rope bridge. Hopefully I won't be too scared. I've also got a trip planned to Killarney and Portaventura in Spain. Really looking forward to seeing Ferrari Land open and trying that new roller coaster. It's supposed to be, I think, the tallest and the fastest, so really looking forward to trying that. I've also got a few other small trips planned. Porto is another place I'm really looking forward to in Portugal, and sure, we'll wait and see what happens after that. My 5 top tips for travelling with children is: number 1, if you're going to a sun holiday, while they're young, keep it local. Go somewhere small with a pool, inexpensive, because once they get older they're going to want zip lines and splash parks and non-stop entertainment. So keep it small when you're starting off. If it's a city break, I bring my kids on city breaks all the time, but one thing I would say is try and get a hotel with an indoor pool. If you're out sightseeing all day, it's great to be able to say to the kids, look, we'll come back and have a swim at the end. Speaking of city breaks, if it's a big city like New York or something like that, no harm to pick up a foldable scooter, and they're about €20 on Smith's, and if you have to leave it behind, sure, no big deal. If you are travelling to the States, I would say pay the extra money to go direct. It might seem a bit more expensive at the time, but believe me, hanging around in airports, you'll spend the money 10 times over. And there is nothing worse than having to, when you arrive in the States, if you haven't cleared customs in Ireland, that queue, all the kids want to do is get to the hotel. So I would say definitely pay the money to go direct. Another thing that I've found invaluable on holidays is a media share. I have a verbatim media share. It looks kind of like a mobile phone. You pick them up on Amazon or probably most shops, but it acts as it has its own Wi-Fi network, so you kids can watch movies anywhere on the plane, in museums, in restaurants. To me, it's a godsend. And finally, I would say invest in lightweight hand luggage for the kids. Once they're past the trunky stage, they're well able to wheel their own suitcase to the airport. In fact, they usually enjoy it. We get a really good lightweight one that you can put 10 kilos worth in, and it'll save you a fortune on baggage charges. And also, what I always say to my kids is they can bring whatever they want as long as it fits in the suitcase. Travel insurance, to be honest, I don't understand how anyone could travel without it. You can get an annual policy for €15 now or $15.95. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer. I've used travel insurance a couple of times, or I've had to use it a few times. Once we were delayed 24 hours in Greece, the flight was cancelled, and they put us up in the hotel, paid for meals, and even compensated us for the delay as well. Another time wasn't so nice. My son got stung by a jellyfish, and that was a pretty horrific experience, but again it was great knowing that you didn't have to worry about medical bills. There's so many reasons to have travel insurance. I mean, a lot of people think the European health card covers them, but really it only covers them in a public hospital. If you had to come home by air ambulance, you're not covered. If you have to cancel your holiday, if somebody in your family is sick, you're not covered. My friend recently, literally last month, fell and broke her leg in 3 places in the Caribbean, and I was told it's about 100 grand to get her home by air ambulance. So, I mean, it's just, as I said, for me it's a no-brainer. You just have to have travel insurance. Well, South America's been on my bucket list for a long time now. It's one of those places that I've always wanted to go to, but I guess you probably need at least 3-4 weeks to see it properly, so just haven't managed to get there yet. And now with the kids, whether you'd either bring them with you or leave them at home, either way, I don't think it's going to probably happen this year. I'm a big Africa lover too. Did a lot of trips to Africa before the kids were born. South Africa I loved. Tanzania was probably my favourite. We did the most incredible safari there. Love to go back. I have a hankering to see the gorilla, so maybe I could go in Uganda, so maybe I could combine the two somehow. Also like to do a bit more in Asia. I'd love to see Vietnam, the Philippines. I haven't been there. And a lot closer to home, I guess. And my list just kind of gets bigger every year. You know, I'd love to see Puglia in Italy. Have a bit of a hankering for that. Porto, which I'm going to this year. That's another city I always wanted to see. Vienna. To be honest, I could go on forever. There's so many places to see. So I'm Sarah Slattery from the Travel Expert.ie. Visit the website, subscribe to my newsletter, or connect with me on social media. And thanks for watching.